Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a special treat for you today. I have 3 union reads, so you need to pick 1, 2, or 3, which is the one that's going to affect you the most. So pick a union, 1, 2, or 3, and I'll show them to you in the order. And then I have a Divine Feminine read for you in front of you, but as you all know, the Divine Feminine also affects the masculine within, and of course the masculine is always a part of your life, so of course the masculine came out big time in the Divine Feminine read. So I want to get going since I have 3 union reads and this read, so this will be last. I'm going to put the timestamps below. If any of you out there feel like putting the timestamps below, you can as well if I have forgotten to do it. For those of you who don't know me very well, I did get hit by a car a few years ago, so after that concussion, my recall isn't as good as it used to be, not to mention the other things in life that happen to us, like age and menopause, all that kind of stuff. So anyway. Okay, so you guys all know me. All my information's below. My website is twinflames3344.com. My Gmail is the same, at gmail.com. And of course, my CD is out there, Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. And that's on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and CD Baby. It's only $1. It's a great way to support me. So please do. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please share this video. There's a lot of downloaded messages that come in that could be helpful to other people out there. If you know other twins or just other soulmates who may be struggling right now, to share it on your Facebook or wherever you'd like. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so here we go. I'm going to clear a little bit for you guys. And it is April 17th today, 2020. Oh, we're in the Knight of Wands energy today. The Star and the Knight of Wands. That's very passionate, moving energy. Creative, physical, passionate, desire. And the Star, all about healing and dreaming. Making your dreams come true, shining your light, and healing. As the squirrel comes across the window right now. You can't see him right now, but he's there. Okay. So have you picked your union read? Which one affects you the most? We have union spread 1, 2, and 3, and the pictures aren't in the right order, so don't go by that. I'm going to tell you which one's first. So make sure you've picked 1, 2, or 3 now, because I'm going to show you the first read now, okay? I just have to get this this little holder. Let's see, am I on the first one? I believe so, yeah. It's just that one I have last on here, okay. See if I can get this centered for you right. Oh, that's not bad, actually. I can get this thing to be centered. And I'll move the light out of the way as well. Let's get that out. Oh, it doesn't want to get out of the reflection. Let's see, maybe we can do that. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, so this is the first union read, okay? So if you pick number 1, this is your read. And this was done at 2:10 a.m. last night. Was that one? Let me just make sure. No, I'm sorry. This read was done at 1:42 to 43 a.m. last night, this read here. So the underlying energy for this union, I'm going to show you how I set it up for those of you who've never watched my union read before. This is the underlying energy. This is the closing out energy, the summary. The Divine Feminine energy coming in, the Masculine energy coming out. This is the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D. And this is the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and the bridge between them, okay? So we start out here with the 8 of Cups here. And then the center read I always focus on too, because that's the center of the read, which is the Page of Cups. The 8 of Cups and the Page of Cups walking away to open your heart more, and that specifically affects the feminine. And the underlying feminine energy here is the King of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and then the Moon. Let's see if I can move this over just a little bit more so it's more centered. That's better. So the underlying Divine Feminine energy here for you guys is you have the shaman who's mastered their passions, right? Sending 5D messages at night. Master of Passions and the Knight of Orbs, calming turbulent seas. Coming into shore, 5/22, which is the new moon in 5 days, which, yeah, from today. And then calm calm energies at mid-cycle, which is always that good time of the cycle, right? Midpoint between the new moon and the full moon. So, about a week after the full moon. Into the new moon is always more calm than around the full moon, which you know. So the 3D energy here is the indigo. We have the indigo, the 2 of swords, and then the 4 of cups there. And again, this is the SIRIAN Starseed deck. The 3D is the divine feminine proposing with diamond or diamond light, and the divine masculine wishing on a star, bridging via the 2 of swords, floating on air and keeping to themselves. The divine masculine is he's in scary seas, but of the divine feminine, right? He's not used to those emotional seas. She is scared to come over. She's scared to come over there praying for guidance. In the 4D, all right, so that was the 3D here, the feminine, and then the masculine, and then how they come together, which is being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, okay? Then the 4D here, this is the feminine, this is the masculine, so the 4D is the divine feminine high priestess or higher self, right? Her being in her higher self in the 4D, and the divine masculine rising above drama, and the bridge being via the Page of Cups, who is cracking their heart wide open. So this is especially the feminine cracking her heart more wide open towards the masculine, especially if she now has some mistrust of him. So this is again cracking your heart open again as the masculine rises above drama in 4D. The 5D is the Queen of Swords, the 3 of Wands, and the 4 of Swords up top. And the divine feminine with the Queen of Swords pulling the truth trigger. So Tigger may be coming up too. The Tigger. Or leaning on the truth. The divine masculine is deep in their thoughts by the water or in meditation. And they need to bridge in the 5D via the 3 of Wands, which is the present moment, being present to the flame of creation, the 3rd energy. The divine feminine is the indigo, right? The indigo, the higher self, and the Queen of Swords. So she is that indigo, warrior. She's in her warrior energy in her higher self as the Queen of Swords, right? She's the messenger of truth. She's been very hurt, and she's learned a lot from what she's been through. So in the 5D, it's not dark like it is in the 3D, right? So the Queen of Swords is different in the 3D than she is in the 5D. In the 5D, she's enlightened. In the 3D, she's in mourning. So it's a different energy there. So she's very much in her 5D self, in her indigo, in her higher self, and her Queen of Swords in the 5D, without showing too much emotion, right? Learning to master your emotions. The bridge here is the 2 of Swords coming out of or it's the 2 of Swords going into the Page of Cups. So knowing and keeping to yourself, and then like going just under the surface to break out of your heart as the Page of Cups, innocence just needs to, explode from their heart, and going into the 5D present, which is the gift of the moment. This is the bridge between you, right? Staying in the moment, allowing your heart to be open, and being in your knowing and keeping it to self. The divine masculine is the 3D, 4 of Cups. Feeling stranded and praying for help. And in the 4D, rising above the drama in order to tango. And the 5D, meditation on the beach. So outgoing for the divine masculine is the King of Swords with the Queen of Swords, Akashics, and being sovereign, or the King of Swords and King of Pentacles and sovereign, or the King of Swords in Akashics with sovereign. Okay, so there's a couple different combinations here. And then the summary being the 3 of Cups of them coming together. So then we would go from, you notice this is all cups too. The 8 of Cups goes to the Page of Cups to the 3 of Cups. So it's all about the emotion between them. So walking away and within to then crack your heart wide open again in order to come together as the masculine still struggling a little bit to rise above, but he's in his space in the 5D, which is great. And he's rising above in the 4D, maybe still struggling a little bit in the 3D, all right? But coming out of this, strong in his truth, dealing with Akashic records and finding his sovereignty, or the energy of the feminine on his side, bringing her over to come together. All right, so that's a really beautiful read. That was at 157. There's a little bit more information for you to go. So I always put the numbers together for these reads in a grid to see how the numbers play out. And the total number for this grid for you guys is 40, just like the center card in the read, the Page of Cups, which is beautiful. That's beautiful, innocent, unconditional new love, puppy love. We also have the messages of the Moon, the Chariot, and the Devil on the horizontal number lines, which is at night, the Divine Feminine ascending with the Devil, or in other words, to the Page of Cups and Jesus. Because in order, you can't get to Jesus without going through the Devil, which is basically kind of referring to the 4D bridge, because it can be very dark and murky there. So the vertical lines add up to the energies of the Strength card, but it's also the 8, which is the dance of the masculine and feminine within, the Hierophant and the Devil, which is like the God and the Devil, and then the Hangman. So the dance of God and Devil within yourself, and the Hangman, which is Jesus. Okay. So also the going from the, I always do this play too, with the King of Wands to the King of Swords, the Knight of Swords to the King of Pentacles, and then the Moon to the Sovereign over here, the Nine of Pentacles. The King of Passion moves toward the King of Truth, right? So it's the feminine mastering her passions, and the masculine, the master of his truth, right? His words and his thoughts. And the 5D messenger to Akashic Records, nightly rushes of emotion to Sovereign, who's healthy, wealthy, and wise. The 8 of Cups to the Page of Cups to the 3 of Cups. I'm also getting the 83, which reflects 38, which is the Queen of Cups, and her reflection, the 83, which is just past the end of karma. So that's like the masculine leaving karma, walking away to innocence to come together in joy. West Indian and East Indian meet here in this read. The 5D crystal skull in Egypt, and the dark side of the moon, the bright side of the sovereign, or in other words, the divine feminine. And there could be 4 children represented here as well. Okay, so that's the read for those of you who picked number 1. All right, now we're going to go to number 2. Okay, and this was really beautiful read. This was done at 210. So all 3 of them are beautiful, but the cards are just especially pretty in this read. So 210, this union is the underlying energy of transition, as I'm losing my voice a little bit. So the people who pick number 2 may have either yourself as a feminine or yourself as a divine masculine may be having trouble getting your words out. So the underlying energy is transition. The center card is the Strength card. So transition through the fire. This is about the feminine being the transmuter of the fires. Very good at that in order to clear the way to get to the divine masculine. And you see what's on the masculine side in the 4D, which is really where you guys are most of the time, the 6 of Cups there. So the underlying divine feminine energy comes in. Sorry about the shaking. This is the only way I have to show another picture right now. But the Queen of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups, and then the Towers on the feminine side. So the Queen of Pentacles walks away from drama, and the 5 Cups are done. Remember from yesterday, for those of you who watched, the way it was coming up was that the 5 Cups were done, which meant we're done with 3D, because the second 7 Cups is 5D, or going into 5D. So the first half of the 3D, we're all done with that. We're totally in the 4 and 5D now. And it's showing that again with the 5 Cups being shown there. In the 3D is the Lovers, the Chariot, and the Ace. Lovers, the Chariot, and the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful line, especially for the 3D. The Divine Feminine as the Lovers, the Divine Masculine as the Diamond in the Rough, and the bridge between them is the Chariot ascending, catching a ride together. The 4D is the Indigo Strength, and 6 of Cups there. As the Divine Feminine is offering to polish his diamond, the Divine Masculine offers a hug, and the bridge between them is the Bengal White Tiger breaking through the barrier and into love. The 5D here is the 2 of Cups, the 5 of Cups, and then the King of Cups. Unconditional love. See if I can get them a little more clear. And here we have the Divine Feminine soul bond, the Divine Masculine unconditional love, and the bridge between them via grieving together, the Two of Cups and the King of Cups, unable to look up. Or that it could also be the Divine Feminine on the masculine side with her back turned, so she can't actually see the love that he now wants to give. The Divine Feminine side is the 3D lovers, the 4D indigo, and the Divine Masculine on her side in order to propose. The indigo manifesting a polished diamond for the two to bond. So it's like the lovers proposing in the 5D. So it's like the feminine proposing in the 5D realm, right? So that would be his job in the 3D realm, but she's proposing in the 5D realm. But yeah, so you see up here, this is like the masculine side not able to look at the Two Cups. However, this also is a feminine, so this can be the feminine in the middle turning her back on the masculine, not being able to see that he is the King of Cups now ready to offer some love. But either way, it has to do with both of them having a hard time looking at the Two Cups of them together because of the hurt between them, or the mistrust that has come through over time. So the bridge here is the 3D chariot ascending, the 4D strength with their eye on the prize, and the 5D grief and hiding their eyes. The Divine Masculine is the 3D brand new beginning with perfect contentment, that's the Ace of Pentacles, with their eye on the prize in the 4D, and the 5D grief, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong line. The brand new beginning of contentment and the 4D twins, right? Their inner children hugging each other. And then the 5D unconditional love of the King of Cups, which was just beautiful. The outgoing Divine Masculine is guide by Akashics, Atlantis, Egypt, and surrenders to the gods. So again, this was coming up yesterday and the day before. Atlantis being the masculine energy, Lemuria being the feminine energy. And here is that Egyptian energy coming up in Akashic records for the Divine Masculine here to work on those records. Now remember, when we're done karma, the reason why we don't have karma anymore is because every time we do something that would have some kind of karmic repercussion or bounce back, it happens immediately with you. So you can't even get into any karma really, because as soon as it happens, you clear it. So you can't have karma. So the karma is still affecting the masculine more than the feminine, since he's more immersed in the karma. So it's coming out like now he's being totally released like the feminine is, and dealing with Akashic records in order to release that final bit. So again, that's the masculine within the feminine as well. So the outgoing Divine Masculine was getting guidance by Akashic records, right? So going to the 5D of Atlantis and Egypt and surrendering to the gods. And so that for those masculines who don't believe in anything, they're at least surrendering to some kind of love or source, higher power, okay? Or the collective consciousness, that kind of energy. So in this read, all the numbers added up to 31, which has to do with the Five of Wands and expansion. So there may be some conflict in this energy, but that also leads to expansion, so be aware of that. And it can just be games as well. Competition, that kind of energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be a negative thing when you have the Five of Wands, because it is expansion. So the vertical or the horizontal lines added up to the Temperance card, the Lovers, and the Justice card. So the angel lovers received justice. And I was getting the summary is going to the Wizard of Oz. The man behind the curtain is now passing downloads, and as two men are watching. The vertical lines added up to the dance of the Knight of Wands to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So it's like dancing across the bridge, just like, singing in the rain. Same type of thing. Dancing across the stage, dancing across the bridge to the 5D where the pot of gold is. So strength of the High Priestess in heartbreak of the Hermit, and the dance of the Knight of Wands in the chariot in order to pick up the Hermit. So that was really beautiful too, and that basically ended at 222. So I just want to make sure that we have the Queen of Cups going over here to the guidance energy over here. So that's where the It's actually like the Queen of Cups could be the masculine's guide over here, right, in the 5D, like guiding him in the Akashic records. And if I'll show you too what I have on the table, because the star card's on the table with the 2 of Wands next to it. So it's like the feminine as this star card here saying, come on, it's this way. As this is not this card, but a different card that's on the table right now. I'll show it to you in a minute. So we have the Queen of Wands helping with or Queen of Pentacles helping with the guidance over here. And then this is the feminine walking away and within as the masculine's shining his light, right? And perhaps learning to make his dreams come true, his authentic dreams. And then as the feminine's dealing with some drama over here, right, with the Tower and epiphanies, but it could be some little, cleanups as well. That's connecting to the masculine surrendering. Oh, it's this card that's on the table. This one's in the front of this, though. So it's these 2 cards on the table. They're just reversed. Well, that's cool. So we have a connection there. All right, so that's read number 2. It's really beautiful. You have the Lovers and the 2 of Cups in this read, as well as the 6 of Cups and the Chariot ascending in the middle, along with the Ace of Pentacles in the 3D and the King of Cups, unconditional love. How much more could you want in a read? It's really beautiful. All right, so now we have read number 3. So for those of you who picked number 3, this one has a little bit more information in it, okay? So here we go with this one. This was done at 10:06 to 7 this morning. The underlying energy is the Wheel of Fortune or the Great Wheel in this deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And the center card is the 2 of Cups. Again, beautiful. Destined to be together. The underlying divine feminine coming in here is the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Starseed. So the underlying divine feminine is peace, unconditional love, and a big download and a fresh start. The 3D is justice, the 3 of Swords, and reflection along that bottom middle line of the divine feminine, justice with truth and balance, but without using her eyes, right? Without seeing. And the divine masculine in reflection with light, bridged by 3 strikes, the lighthouse in the storm, and you're out. Or in other words, you're seen for once. You're out. You're out of the closet, right? So instead of saying you're out, 3 strikes, you're out, here, 3 strikes, you're seen. Now you're out. You've outed yourself. Reflection with light, bridged by 3 strikes, the lighthouse in the storm, and you're out. Seen for once. And that actually bridges to a line from my song, Christa Sophia, which is the feminine energy of the Sophia being green but never seen, which, because the feminine was never seen for the past 2,000 years. It was always about the masculine leaders. So Libra and Virgo in separation here also, yet not. The divine feminine uses third eye, and the divine masculine sees her light. Together they create lightening. Or in other words, you're getting lighter as the lightning comes in. And it's also light, and EN for me, as well as capital N is code Jesus. So light with Jesus. And action coming from that. So the coming together of your light with Jesus. So again, the divine feminine uses third eye, the divine masculine sees her light, and together they create lightening, light body like Jesus, a quickening of vibration, less weight of the world, more diamond light, and calm, peaceful waters with reed, which came up yesterday because I told you about the Greek letters, or excuse me, the Egyptian alphabet letters, because I'd gotten a pendant once with my name in Egyptian. And it went back to that today again, too. Actually, in Wiktionary, the word of the day was an Egyptian word, so that was pretty cool. But 3 of the letters in my name mean reed, because E and Y both mean reed, which for me takes me back, because I played the oboe for 6 years, which has a double reed, whereas like a clarinet only has a single reed. So it's the same kind of parallel here, but the oboe double reed was coming in here. The E, when you question the difference between the E and the Y, then they say just use the single reed for the E and the double reed for the Y, because it's the Y in the road. So then EY was coming up, and EY equals A. E at the Y, me in the road, right? And then, or in the street, or the saint, because that was coming up today for sure, equals the A of Adam's apple. Also AA, so Alcoholics Anonymous was coming up, and that could be American Airlines as well. And then I was getting Aye Capitan, and Cape Town was coming up. So I was getting a lot of message coming through as I was doing this read. But the EY of the read, and the read has to do with the, I think it was where I found the definition had to do with the oats in the field. So it looks like, you know, wheat fields, but it was like the top of the oat plant. So, and it reminds me just very much of bamboo. So it's the same type of energy. So the EY equals the A. Remember, EY is like A. A. So EY equals A. It's the E at the Y in the road, or the street, or the saint. The Y in the saint. Why me in the saint. Equals Adam's apple, the AA. And then the II, like EYE, EYE, II, Capitan came up, which brought up Cape Town. And it brought me to en.wikipedia at 10:27 to 28. The word II was originally AY, but then they use it all different ways now. There's AYE and EYE. But the AY came from Northeast England initially. So then Cape Town came up. And the first entry my eyes went to when I opened up Cape Town was, again, Wikipedia. Just showing the lateral, it was 33.55 degrees south. It's on the same parallel with Sydney and Buenos Aires and Casablanca and LA in the northern hemisphere. And then they talked about East Table Mountain with near vertical cliffs and flat-topped summit over 1,000 meters, which is 3,300 feet, which is the Christ vibration. And with Devil's Peak and Lion's Head on either side, enclose a central area, which is why they refer to Cape Town as City Bowl, because it's like bowled by the mountains. So here the Devil's Peak and the Lion's Head came up, so that's significant in the read. And then Constantinia came up, because that's an area there in Cape Town, Constantinia. My dad's name is Constantine, so of course I saw it right away, but it's what came up. I opened this thing they had with the homes, and the homes in this neighborhood were just really beautiful. You know, most of them, of course, were $1 million homes, but then homelessness was coming up. So we go from these really beautiful extreme homes to homelessness for your read. And then the II was coming up as a military order, right? It's an acceptance of an order from answers.yahoo versus the Urban Dictionary, which it means a Viking ship oath that's sworn, very different, right? One is just following an order, the other one is making you swear your life on this, which is considered a misuse of the word, the way the Vikings use it. So again, this is about those oaths that we've needed to break, right? Because you can't vow anything to anyone but to yourself, right? Because your connection with your higher self is the only thing you can be truly loyal to. All right, so at that time when I wrote down homelessness, the beautiful homes in contrast to the homelessness that's going on in Cape Town right now, it was 10:39, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I passed a picture of my son and someone he went to daycare with. And I just, you know, it's there all the time, but I just happened to look at it today and immediately thought the Six of Cups. Oh my God, that's his twin. And so I thought that, and so when I got back from the bathroom, I pulled out my old address book, which I knew she was still in there. Her parents were in there. I didn't think I would remember her name, but as soon as I picked up the address book, I remembered her last name, and then I opened it right to her name. It was really unbelievable. And so then I actually reached out to her on Facebook to see what she was doing. I mean, she's married now, but I have 2 pictures of her and my son from when they were 5 years old. It's such a cute picture. They actually did a Hanukkah prayer at the daycare that they were in, that her parents videotaped, and I never got a video copy of it. But I would love to see that, because my son's, we weren't raised religiously, so the fact that he was taught this prayer at daycare was such a beautiful thing for me, and he sang it so beautifully at 4 or 5 years old, however old they were. So it just took me back to then. So if that takes you back to anything, then it was meant to be because of this read. So II, Capitan, and then I was getting, if you write II together, EYEYE, it's coming up as the third eye, right? There's 3 E's. You have 2 I's and an E in the middle, which is the third eye, with the Y in the road supporting in between, right? The space between, that Y in the road where you need to move. You can't stay there in the space. And then Capitan was coming in as cap, and then capital E, and then tan. So the right is the cap of the masculine with the cap, right, the captain, and then the E with the tan on the left. So the cap is coming up as code Christ human connects to human off center and grounding as the right eye, and then the divine feminine or E tanning on the left, toggle up human Jesus connection. So it's like literally paralleling again that the divine feminine energy toggles up and the masculine connects laterally to the divine feminine. So the 3D, the divine, was coming up as the divine 3 reflection. So you see this, right? We have the 3 of swords in the middle here. This is justice, the 3 of swords, and then reflection. So the divine 3 reflection. And then it was funny too, because one of you out there, hi Gita, this literally said, is it this one or another one? Maybe it was the second one. It literally said Gita, a saint or something like that. It was really cool. Let's see here. So in the 4D here, we have the divine feminine sharing, being careful about handouts and time and her energy. As we have the 6 of Pentacles, you see it's very much about balance on the feminine side here, because we have justice and the 6 of Pentacles here. And so the feminine being very careful about giving out handouts of her time and energy, and the divine masculine unable to look at them, at the 2 of Cups, the actual bridge in order for them to come together. All right, so the 2 of Cups is the bridge. So they need to get past not being able to look up at the 2 of Cups, because that's the way they come together. The divine masculine cat on the other side of the creek is afraid to come over, but meows on some nights around the full moon. Or the divine feminine is in his energy on that side of the 4D, being sad and unable to look at him and his partner wrapped up in each other. And the 3D separation is the bridge, and the 4D connection is the bridge. The trickle-down effect of the 5D trickling down. And this was at 1135, which is justice and the wounded warrior, the Mary Magdalene energy. So you see in the 5D, we have the Empress, which is arms open wide with your heart open wide in abundance, trickling down to the connection and then to the 3D separation, which the 3D separation doesn't have to indicate a bad thing. It could be a separation on his side or separation between you guys, because you don't need to come together in 3D if you're not really in 3D anymore. You need to come together on the 4D. All right, so at 1135 in the 3D, divine feminine is blind and balanced to separation. In the 4D, she is balanced with only stability, but others want more of her time and energy. So a big thing about balance and money and time came up here. So if she gives more of her, she must also give more money to stay balanced. Once she's become abundant, the more responsibilities you take on, you become heavier, and then you can take more money on as well. So if you give of yourself, you become heavy. When you give of yourself, they're bringing up like the difference between how you give. So if you give in your authentic self, it lightens you. But if you give in an inauthentic way, it burdens you, and then you become heavier. So if you become heavier, if you see the scale, if she gets heavier, then the money part's going to go up, which means you can take in more money. So if you take on more responsibilities and burdens, yeah, you're going to be able to bring in more money because the scale goes up. So now it needs to be balanced the other way. However, if you are authentic to yourself in giving and you become lighter, you go up, and this big scale of money goes down, meaning you need to give some of your money away in order to create the balance. So it's saying the lighter you get, the less you need to survive, right? The more you want to be free of stuff. So it's very interesting. You can take on as much responsibility as you want, but it's the heaviness of the 3D world that will bring you the heaviness of the more money. Okay, so I'm going to go into that a little more here. So in the 3D, the Divine Feminine is blind in balance and separation. In 4D, she's balanced with only stability, but others want more of her time and energy. If she gives more of her, she must also give money to stay balanced once she's become abundant. The more responsibilities you take on, the heavier you get, so the more money you can get. The less burden taken, the less money you must have to stay balanced and free. Money is a measure of what you deem as freedom. If you give in a way that lightens you, you must then give away some money too, like to charities, in order to balance it out. If you run out of food, you become heavy again because you become burdened of hunger, more 3D, and so then you must let go of money in order to buy food, which then weighs you down more, but then you eat, so you lighten up again because you feel better, regaining balance. If you live a very light or lightened life, you need very little money stores because constant movement of energy back and forth. So if you get very wealthy, you must also give to charity and to balance the scales, or have another business which hires more people, therefore taking on more responsibility, but also giving to others at the same time. If you are stagnant, you grow old and die, and money gets distributed amongst your kids, etc., who then can buy a home with increased responsibility. You give, you receive, like a tennis match. One love, and then love one, and love, and sometimes 8, dancing all the way to the bank. So the 5D here is coming up as the 9 of Swords, the Abundance, and the 10 of Crystals. The Divine Feminine suffering in silence in the 5D, and feeling the Divine Masculine dealing with Akashic records across the creek. The Divine Masculine is the 10 of Pentacles, enjoying an abundant life of responsibility and lots of family in the Divine Feminine energy, though, like him being in his feminine. In the 4D, both are in the Divine Feminine energy, as the 3D Divine Feminine is Divine Feminine changing to Masculine in 5D, and the Divine Masculine is the Divine Masculine in 3D, changing through the Feminine of 4D sadness into the 5D of abundance of the family. The 5D is bridged by the Empress, Gaia, abundance, and opening arms of the Mother to allow all in. The Divine Feminine is balanced in justice of the 3D, but in 4D she feels guilty on the bridge to 5D, which is her Divine Masculine suffering in silence in lack consciousness. The Divine Masculine is hermiting in 3D logic with light, but in 4D he goes into the Feminine on the bridge, grieving and unable to look at the 2 cups he's given no attention to. And yet, reaching 5D now, which is the Divine Feminine, right, because the Masculine's higher self is the Feminine, in abundance, and liking it there. Both needing to find a middle ground to share of the abundance of 5D and 3D separation. 4D togetherness, love and kindness in order to bridge. At 1206, which is the Hangman and the Lovers, the distance gap of separation into 5D abundance. So like I said, it naturally comes together in the 4D, which is the between state, the space between. So the 1207 is the Hangman and the 7 of the Chariot. We go out here with the Divine Masculine being the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups. The Frog changing to the Prince, because he's very much the Frog to the Prince in that card. Juggling stressful physically during growth, but staying green and a little gray and grounded on rock, smoke and mirrors, and rising above the drama to tango with flame in right hand, stretched into the Knight of Cups, now on his side, because it was on the feminine side in the other reads. Navigating a tidal wave of emotions welling up and over a coffee cup, being love in the green room, transforming physically while navigating the vortex, 0 point, with a lot of action around him. Breaststroke or freestyle, it's hard to tell with so much turbulent underwater. so much turbulence underwater. Ocean or infinity pool, deciding what to do, such difficult choices. How about both, infinity pool at the ocean? The Six of Wands summary is the 5 flames at attention to the big flame. So here again we have the energy of the El Capitan, right? Aye, aye, Capitan. As the 5 flames are at attention to the one at the helm, the big flame. Aye, aye, Capitan, with Cap and Tan at the helm, leading the way to good news and success. So this read added up to number 59, which is that 5 of Swords. But in this deck, it is the frog becoming the prince. Let's see if I can get that a little lighter. You can actually see the, like, he doesn't really have his full face formed. He's like a green body that's not fully a human yet, so it's like coming out of the frog, but he's still juggling. Like he's still the human juggling, but becoming frog to prince. So we have the 59 of the 5 of Swords, which has to do with that conflict, but it just has to do with the masculine physically growing within, okay? Going from the frog to the prince. And then the horizontal lines added up to the 25, 13, and 21, which is the Knight of Wands, death, and the world. So passionate transformation of the world going on right now, while on the other axis was lovers, devil, hierophant, which is like an angel and a devil on either shoulder of both of the lovers. And then the chariot and the lovers, or the 76 trombones, which is the 8 of Pentacles, doing the work. So lovers with angel and devil on each shoulder get into the chariot to go to work that they love by stretching. So from destiny to the 2 of Cups to the journey to the 6 of Wands, I also am bringing in here the 6 of Swords energy over here, over to the 5 of Swords, and so on. The King of Cups to the 7 of Wands, and then the Starseed to the Knight of Cups. Peaceful waters to Skytop, stretch. The King of Cups, unconditional love, to levitating above. Flames with flame, or Firewalker. And Starseed to Knight of Cups, and a fresh start with a big drop to being love over a coffee cup. Okay, you guys, so that's the 3 for the union read. I hope you like that. So I'm going to take this out now because we have our regular read. Okay. So now you see I have those 2 big cards in front of you. This is the 2 of Pentacles or crystals in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, but you see it's very much a card of surrender. And then here's the Star card, which is very much of that Atlantean energy in Egypt. And it's like the Divine Feminine saying, come on, this way, what are you doing? Come on, we're going over here. So we also have, I pulled some cards from the Universal Golden deck. So after I put them out on the table, there were some more cards that wanted to be seen. So the first 4 cards came up here, the Emperor, the Knight of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands, which literally is the Emperor, very busy at work and home, which can be a combined work and home as well over here. And then the next 4 cards came up like the opposite energy. So you'd think this was the masculine, but it might actually be the feminine energy. And then over here we have the Magician, the Chariot, the Death card, and then the 4 of Swords. All right, so the Magician and big movement of the Chariot, and then the Death card, but these 2 cards were reversed in the read, and the 4 of Swords was reversed too. So it's a very different energy than over there. This has to do with going through dark night energy still and rising above in the awakening. So this is more about it seems to be, to me, more about the masculine energy over here. So that'll come into the read as well. But I want to get right into it since we're already at 44 minutes, 44:18 that was. So grounding and integrating, an offer of love, and the moon. All right, so as soon as I turned the page, I was getting Tel Aviv as well, because TV came up in the code line. So Tel Aviv was coming up as I cut and dealt the SIRIAN Starseed deck, which was at 12:36 to 37 this afternoon. 36 is the 10 of Wands, 37 is the King of Cups. So going from the Wands to the Cups and unconditional love. After the big burden, it's like the gift that you get, the unconditional love. So, by the way, in Wiktionary, because I wrote this at the top, I told you there was an Egyptian word that was the word of the day in Wiktionary. And it was obviously written in symbols because it's Egyptian, but it's also coded as the letter H, lowercase letters H and N. And it meant along with, or in addition, or in addition with them. And then the word of the day that came up was pincushion. And the definition was coming up, needle stuck into it to store them safely. Some hold objects magnetically. And then some flowers resemble the pincushion plant. So there's a pincushion plant and a pincushion cactus, literally called that. And then one is called Dusty Maiden. Another one is coral moss and English baby tears. So those were some energies that were coming up for you guys today. Also from the letters in the cards, as I was putting the cards down, F, chal came up, C-H-A-L. And so C-H-A-L transcribes as a Turkish beverage with camel milk, sparkling white, and a sour flavor. C-H-A-L also means a wrap or a shawl in Spanish, and it also means male gypsy, man, chap, and kerosene bottle to torch, and also means here. So those were the words of the day. Let's see. So again, Tel Aviv came up, and then I finished doing the read at 103 to 4, which is the Emperor and the Empress. So we have the 1 of the Magician, the 3 of the Empress, and the 4 of the Emperor. And you notice in the cards up here, the Emperor came up over there, and then the Magician came up here, and the Empress and Emperor right next to each other right here at the end of the read. So they were very significant players. And yeah, the Magician was upright. All 3 of them are upright. So the power player is very upright today. So done at 103 to 104. And this is for the Divine Feminine twin flames, but this also affects the Divine Feminine within the masculine. This is a general read. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. And if you should need anything else, or if you'd like a personal read, you know where I am. All my information's below at twinflames3344.com and at gmail.com if you need to send a message. So we finished the read here at 103 to 4, and the major arcana were Starseed, Ascension, and Shadow, which is the Fool, the World, and the Devil. We also had, after the read, Justice and the Chariot. We had the Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, and after the read, the Knight of Wands came up. Before the read, the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles came up for the Divine Feminine. We had 1 wand, 3 swords, 2 cups, and 2 pentacles, so very well distributed. It was more swords than anything else, a little too much in your heads, Divine Feminines, but it also could be because you're intellectualizing or doing thought work today. Now the numbers, 4 ones came up. And I did pull a few extra cards at the end because I saw the aces and they all came up together, so they were meant to be part of this read. 2 of them are upright and 2 of them are reversed. The ones that were upright were the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So a lot of love and passion are coming up here in a split. So the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles were reversed because that's the split end of the switch and holding back a new life because there's new love and new passion coming up. So that was really beautiful coming up here right at the end of your read. We had 4 ones in the read, 2 twos. We also had the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door. The code line added up to 13. We had 3 and 10, 3 of the Empress, 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the High Vibe, and then the 13 of the Transition, the Death card, the End, the Transformation, the Dark Night. The code line was all about time out, but the T was covered, so it was coming up as T, and then I-M-E, which is all about me, I'm, or I, me, I'm out. But toggling up first. Toggling up, I'm out, because you're out of this realm. You're toggling up. So that was kind of interesting coming up. The other numbers that came up here were 13, 22, which again is the Death and Transformation, and the 22 of the Fool, taking that leap of faith. The 4 ones, the 2 twos, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, but also 46, which is the 6 of Cups, the 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, 8, 10, which is 0 of Source Energy, backing up the 81, which is the End of Karma. In the Divine Triangle numerology book that I use. And then we have 4 of the Emperor, 6 of the Lovers. 89 is the reflection of human temperature, going to extremes. Then 910, which is also 91, with Source Energy backing it up, which is the reflection of the Sun. which for me would be the central sun, 91, and then the 12 of the hangman. So the code line here is all about time out, but also about toggling up and having me time. I'm out. A show of power with the mother was definitely here, Ma. After death and TV, and Tel Aviv was coming up here. Perhaps a third street, or taking the high road, or E Street, and Sophia and the Queen of Swords in her high vibration as toggling up and taking a time out. I'm out. So the word THEAS came up in the code. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Does it really have a definition? So it does. So THEAS is in the same mold, or the same as, or in other words, a twin. It also means the south or southern or static position, and from Old Irish, and again, this is Wiktionary, it also means right, as in the right side. So they were coming up. So a show of power with Mad TV was also coming up. 3 Sophia and the Queen of Wands, and high vibe destiny of the twins. Taking the high road of the feminine Queen of Swords, destined twin. Toggling up, me, out. I'm out. So the stuff that came up online, just really quickly a run through, was Ma, the official trailer on YouTube, 2/13/19, which I took a peek at. It was kind of a creepy show about this creepy woman who lures teenagers to party in her basement so that she can manipulate them and take their things. And I just looked at it for a couple minutes. I wasn't really watching it, but so a manipulative mother to get people to come over and give her their stuff. Another header was Bud Light present Real Men of Genius commercials on YouTube. Luis Miguel, the series, TV series 2018 came up. That was IMDb. And then Fox News came up with missing college student 19 found dead in Boston after last seen at party. And that was from April 7th, 2019. Another header was Power Rangers Megaforce, TV series from 2013 to 14, IMDb. And then National Instruments came up, which the initials for National Instruments is NI, which is show of power in my code line. But also it's about engineering ecosystems. Anime Kiza TV came up, KISA, and mangakakalot.com. Manga, KAKALOT.com. New tab page, dash MSN came up, and TV fandom, as well as Orbs at Overstock came up. So NI, besides for me as show of power, it also means nickel. Noun, inanimate. It also means you, now, new, which is the actual verbalization of the letter N and lowercase v in Greek. Also, nai means ani or Annie, depending on where it's coming from. But the water, it means water there. We, nephew, neither nor, nine, they, this, ourselves, and look, like that exclamation of something surprising you. The onomatopoeia, expressing astonishment, the coining of a word in imitation of a sound, like meow, thud, beep. So we go back to the code line and we're getting, look, Ma, ADTV, which is Amazing Discoveries TV, as the Holy Ghost takes the high road, or the Queen of Swords, destined in high vibration to her twin. The southern static position, so going like grounding so the masculine can go up. That's what I'm getting now. Look, Ma, Amazing Discoveries TV, the Holy Spirit Wise One of Orbs, destined high vibe, twin, going south or right, going into the masculine energy. So I just tell you the masculines are the gatekeeper of the 3D bridge side, and the feminines are the gatekeepers of the 5D sides. So it's like here, they're doing a switch so that the masculine can learn, his toggling up his 5D energy and get that taken care of. So we start into this read. We have the 3 of Wands reversed and the 9 of Cups. So the 3 of Wands reversed is here, and the 4 cards below that there are the 9 of Cups upright, the King of Pentacles reversed, the 9 of Pentacles reversed, and the 2 of Cups reversed. So looking back or living in the past, after being happy or satisfied or getting their wish or your wish, remember this is for the Divine Feminine, of the King of Pentacles reversed, perhaps not working and in disconnect. New passion out of the spin of the wheel, uncomfortable energies of the Hermit reversed coming out at night. Virgo, Cancer, and Libra here, or Libra has sex on the brain at night at 211, which is the High Priestess and the Justice card, which again is Libra energy, and the High Priestess is Pisces energy for me. So uncomfortable with one too many flames present, because there's three energies in the bunch there, right? So new love, as the Ace of Cups comes up here, which is upright, and the King of Swords is upright along with the Empress upright. So new love with the King of Swords and the Empress, dumping, and this could be new self-love too, like it could be a masculine or your own son even with your staying with their mother or, you know, or their parents. So dumping adverse, I want to say adverse events. I write down AE because for me that has to do with emotional attachments that are no longer necessary for you. So dumping emotional attachments with the Queen of Pentacles at night to avoid suffering in silence or purging or being stressed out or in the aftermath of that, and no sleep. So there's new love offered to a King of Swords and Empress. And again, that could be self-love or spiritual love, to dump synchronicities of the Queen of Pentacles upright at night to stop the suffering. Perhaps feeling insane or going mad at night, sometimes wants to jump out a window or just explode and kick everyone out. Or feeling a bit of Divine Masculine, having sex, turned on, or just gas in the morning. And that can go either way. So foundation comes crashing down around as the lobster takes his time negotiating with the cowardly dogs. And that comes up as the masculine energy. Chasing people up a wall just to catch them, just to watch them fall. This is like the dogs. It's like trying to negotiate with unnegotiable dispositions, right? Like a double dog dare and the Spanky and the gang. The double dog dare and all, like childish brother who lives to see you fail. And so there may be some Divine Masculines who are in that situation where their brother lives to see them fail because they always got their way. So the world is upside down, or sealed Divine Feminine is in another world, arouses the King of Swords' curiosity about why they may not be working, or if they're disabled, stubborn, lazy, or not allowed to work now. Or now he's not working and getting aroused more easily. Now that he's relaxed, the heat is melting his icy exterior, doing a tap dance or sidestep to block what's really going on behind the scenes, wondering what it would be like to work in tandem with the whistleblower and wise words of dysfunction and how to fix disabilities or get back on the horse and manifest, or a keynote speaker, a special ghost appearance. I love how they bring these things up. Right, you deserve love came up here, and below that was deception. So in the past, with suffering, with a disability for the feminines or out of work, dealing with a strike or someone who doesn't have to work, the Four of Pentacles here, refusing to wake up, and this is the Tarot Sexual Magic Four of Pentacles here. So refusing to wake up to having two lovers, right? So this is the masculine energy, or the karmic energy, or just their partner. And I only use the word karmic to distinguish between the feminine and other energies in the masculine's life, okay? So that's really what that means. So the Four of Pentacles refusing to wake up in this journey of needing to wake up to having two lovers, and no longer keeping quiet about it or muzzling the Divine Feminine, who's now free from that. The Queen of Cups upright dropped all her burdens and responsibilities, trying to get out of third-party situation by speaking about it in confession, by being loving and nurturing self, no longer letting anyone take her power away to cover up for them. If he gets caught with his pants down after the fact, so be it. He had his chance to come clean. The Queen of Cups no longer begging for mercy, just being her loving self and learning to love the Divine Masculine and their partner despite ongoing violations. 78 comes up, which is spiritual career. 78 is also the 10 of Pentacles, which is that dream life and world and family, right? And then beneath that was creativity of the three, of the Empress and Mother Earth, and using the earth and natural things to be creative. Starting over from scratch, even if it means getting no credit for something that you already did. The Queen of Wands is reversed, And this is in the feminine's life, remember that. So the Queen of Wands reversed, tired, sick, or angry, impatient fallen angel, rushing in with the truth about a Hierophant or Taurus or religion, establishment, or even God, or Hierophant Taurus giving her a what for. Looking back or living in the past, now choosing a new path that's taking forever, with the Taurus versus Sagittarius that won't end, or clinging to their dark violin. And that's Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is reversed, Taurus is upright. At 250, which is the High Priestess, and the Ten of Cups, which is upright in this read. In the to come, right there is the Ten of Cups. So 256 is the High Priestess and the Two of Swords, being in your knowing, right, without telling, or pretending not to know, perhaps, but looking back and then getting stuck at the why me in the road. So there's an air sign Taurus upright here and a Sagittarius reversed and perhaps Scorpio reversed, fire. Dead, tired, dying, dark night of the past, taking forever to end, suffering in silence or the purge, being up nights, unable to work and letting go of responsibilities to start over from scratch in a spiritual career. So this is kind of like recapping the way they brought it up in the underlying energies, what the Divine Feminine's been going through. So in the underlying energies, we had Libra upright, Cancer upright, Virgo reversed, Taurus upright, Cancer upright, again, Scorpio reversed, Pisces reversed, Gemini upright, and Sagittarius reversed. And Taurus was upright times 2, and Scorpio was reversed times 2, so they were most prevalent there. The recent past is a starseed reversed, or Aries reversed, stuck in the past and lacking faith. The Queen of Wands reversed in an energetic exchange, expressing feelings. I'm sorry, she's not reversed here. The Queen of Wands was reversed in the underlying energy. In the read, she is not. She's upright. So the Queen of Wands upright here in an energetic exchange. So anyone fire energies around you, Divine Feminine, expressing feelings about withholding time, money, and energy, and standing up for self to hang out, to see new perspectives. With a Knight of Wands perhaps rushing in passionately. There's a Page of Cups reversed here, feeling vulnerable, rejected, and misunderstood. And being misunderstood is very much a Mary Magdalene energy, right? Changing dogma into spirituality. Or this person could be spoiled and entitled, or not working, or overworking and sharing with others, suffering in silence, or feeling anxiety, fear, or imprisoned. And so again, this could be children around the Divine Feminine. In a never-ending story of looking back, falling on face from grace or lacking faith, the Queen of Wands in a prison sharing energetically by magnetizing power and taking the high ground and low ground simultaneously, creating a new perspective at 0 point, overworking and not working all at the same time. Perhaps a child is passionate and vulnerable all at the same time, learning from the mother. Or the Divine Feminine is the Queen of Wands here, and the kids are the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups reversed. Maybe one child's not with the others, and they may be feeling that separation in this situation with the world. The Foundation is the King of Cups, sharing in the aftermath of release from anxiety, prison, looking back, and stopped overworking in order to release themselves from prison of anxiety. And this could be a masculine karmic in the feminine's world. So sharing epiphanies, sometimes slow to come, finally released that anxiety after layers of digging down deep. The central energy is the Two of Swords reversed, gaining clarity about heartbreak and separation, and reaping rewards of lovers and affection from family and community, perhaps still without peace, but happy. Working on cutting through the crap and cutting the crap out, especially thoughts in their head. And this is coming up as the masculines around the feminine, so what she's taught them, and so they can be divine masculines as well. It's like the masculine perspective is slightly different than the way the feminine perspective comes into the union aspect. So the challenge being the Queen of Swords reversed, standing up for self and family to find emotional fulfillment and be inspired and or inspire kids dealing with pain or painful endings, coming together at work and holding their tongue, recovering from exile, destitution, illness, and injury, and being left out of the group. At work or in friends groups, whatever it is, the kids learning how to heal themselves. Drained, tired, sick and tired every day due to not expressing self authentically at the workplace. The Queen of Pentacles dumping emotional attachments and purging on the journey and then leading the way. Star, healing, shining light, the Queen of Wands may be surprised, or Pisces, Queen of Wands, and Queen of Pentacles surprised, both of them expressing feelings and then venting and being surprised that that could actually start a new passion in order to burn the past, no longer grounding and integrating at the Y in the road and coming together at 329, which is the Empress, and the Three of Wands, being present in the moment. So coming together for a big love at work, which is not a fantasy, it's actually true, doing what you love. And dependence, perhaps, the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed, maybe kids who are in a negative aspect right now, either drained financially because they don't have a job or they don't have work, or they don't have any place to go, perhaps feeling rejected or jealous, coming to the Hermit reversed, who may be going crazy or now coming out and helping each other out, learning from what each other has gone through. Financial drains, jealousies, and rejection, kids becoming more independent as parents become less independent or less responsible for others, allowing each other to grow, being examples, even when struggling, and up nights crying, still being an example for each other. Now is the Ascension and world upside down. The Knight of Cups is reversed and the Page of Wands is upright, trading places, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands upright, becoming the Page of Wands upright and the Knight of Cups reversed. Rejection and jealousy, insincerity, and yet inspiring them now when the world needs it most. The Two of Pentacles reversed, putting down the rainbow bridge for a second to drop the facade and love self when we trip up. The Magician is manifesting through the pain in a never-ending story of the Queen of Swords reversed, Hierophant, and Page of Swords reversed. The Queen of Swords reversed could be mourning loss while connecting to Source to deal with negative self-talk, or a world apart from a Taurus, Hierophant, and their two kids, the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. The Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps with trouble finding work, and the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands upright, really active but also feeling rejected at the same time, but then inspired by going within. The whole world turned around. So then I'm referring to the cards I had standing up here. So again, where I told you the Emperor, this 4 cards here. So that's coming up more for me as the Divine Feminine. So the Emperor, which is just having control over your situation, being very busy at work and home, or work at home. The other 4 cards over here, which is the Magician, the Chariot, the Death card, and the Four of Swords, was coming up as the Magician broken, or stuck in never-ending story of rising above, awakening, and coming out. So whichever fits for you, it can go either way. The world is reversed in pain, trying to rise above and manifest something amazing, in surrender to grief, in union and reunion, in an energetic exchange, to weakness, to ego death, to letting go, to being patient with attitude, new passion and growth, and allowing the past to burn, leaving the Y in the road to get your wish of healing and shining your light and dreams come true in state of emergency, saving, grounding, and holding on loosely without resistance to the King of Pentacles reversed, new love, or while the Divine Masculine is broken and losing money and or status in the state of emergency, finding self-love in that. Soon for the Feminine is the Ten of Cups upright, perhaps an in-pool bar in an oasis, or just emotional satisfaction with their family. And the King of Cups and Justice or Libra, sick of recovering, now strong and loving man. The Queen of Cups with her secret out, in need of help, with the King of Wands reversed. So the King and Queen of Cups are both upright. The King of Wands here is reversed, receiving clarity as the Knight of Swords reversed, which can be his own action of holding his tongue, as not to fight, since there's no peace for the Queen of Wands. Okay, we're talking about the King of Wands, and then the Queen of Wands is upright. So it's like he's not fighting as to not bring her more peace, more lack of peace. And that's at 359, which is the Empress and the 59 of the Five of Swords. So standing up for the Ten of Cups, happiness and inspiration. And so that could be referencing to, remember the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands could be siblings as well, and it can reference the masculine and the feminine. So it can be several different aspects or combinations of pairs. So the King of Cups upright could be a Libra and or Leo reversed. And the Queen of Cups is coming up here as Pisces, but again, they can be any water sign. The Queen of Cups is coming up directly as a Pisces, though, and the King of Wands reversed is with the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Swords reversed. So they could be two kids or just actions. They could all three be having a hard time. And the King and Queen of Cups upright could have justice, divorce, or Libra between them. Perhaps their son living with a parent or both parents. The King of Cups family with Libra and Queen of Wands, or Libra with two grown water sign kids, and the King of Wands reversed with clarity about his shadow side, and reflecting with the Page of Pentacles reversed and or the Knight of Swords reversed, which can be kids. Capricorn and Virgo also here. The King of Wands reversed could also have Capricorn and or Virgo, and for some reason Scorpio came up here too. So they could have those three signs in their chart, with Earth and Water kids, with fire in their charts as well. The Divine Feminine is seeing herself as the Four of Pentacles, which in this deck is the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, in detox of chaos and grief and finding happiness within self and getting her wish. Patient angel taking one step at a time to come together and split all at the same time. To be the Six of Cups twins, loving each other and saving, grounding, and being stable, holding on loosely. New love, passion, and pay attention to the red flags comes up, and honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Around the Divine Feminine, or how she might be seen, is the Six of Crystals, or Six of Pentacles. Sharing, teaching and learning, giving and allowing. Judgment, announcement, wake-up call, rebirth, a call to prayer to those lacking faith and falling into enemy territory, or in other words, the war within, and viruses, and not in their knowing that nothing can affect you unless you let it. Rejected, vulnerable, and disconnect, choosing a new path at the why me in the road, entitled to announce her truth and save herself, and allowed to fall if she so pleases and make a fool of herself. It's okay not to see eye to eye and fall from grace. Just get right back up and get back in the post-race activities, right? Because it's not a race. Not engaging in drama or warlike mentality. The feminine needs to clear blocks regarding the shadow reverse, which has to do with detoxing, but you have to get to the peak of the addiction or codependency before you can get to the detox. So that's the block for the feminine, not wanting to go through the worst part of the addiction. Detoxing and there having to experience the worst of it. In need of help, the King of Wands reversed may be tired with clarity that he needs to decide. The Ten of Pentacles reversed or the Sovereign reversed. To be family and lose money and spend, or be single and lose money and or spend, or be both at the same time. Time out comes up for the feminine, but even more so today was all about the love partnership. Home, the sealed Divine Feminine in 5D other world, as the world splits, divides, finds clarity in the clarion call. No more fighting with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, not fantasy family, with everyone always wanting something from them. The Ace of Swords reversed is that split and divide, coming clean about dark night or near-death experience, ending a battle or losing the game. And then at 421, which is the Emperor and the World, which is the end of the cycle, coming clean about clinging to a losing battle, as the Hermit reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed and the Sovereign reversed, split from an Emperor and Empress both upright, and the Knight of Wands, Justice, Divorce, or Libra is not working, or the Emperor splits with the Empress, with new passion that's also offering love, with a big love that's overflowing in a state of brokenness and without money or holding back time, money, and energy to save for a new life. So there's Aries reversed, Taurus reversed, Scorpio reversed, Virgo reversed, Pisces reversed, Sagittarius upright, Libra upright, and Cancer reversed, all here right at the end. So here at the end, along with those four aces I told you about, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands both being upright. Or the Knight of Wands is splitting from their parents, because they were living there, Sagittarius, Libra, perhaps with Aries and Taurus too, whether that's in their chart or people around them, coming clean about a split taking forever to end, And looking back, the King of Cups is stable in the Divine Masculine's heart, sharing and teaching and learning, falling and rejecting new loads, like not taking any more heavy loads. So there's clarity here. Challenged by the Queen of Swords reversed, having pulled the truth trigger. The Ten of Cups family upright, emotional fulfillment and detoxing an upside down world in a split of the world. The Knight of Wands, justice, not working when it comes to new passion and love. So it's like whatever they're doing isn't working, especially in the atmosphere of this big new passion and big new love at the same time, overwhelming in a breakdown, holding back a new life. So looking back, the feminine looking back at the fall, the disgrace, the lacking faith, and being at the dead end, the King of Cups, unconditional love with clarity and challenged by the Queen of Swords reversed, with their world upside down. But the Divine Masculine's heart is emotionally fulfilled in a split and settling out and detoxing the split and or divide of the Knight of Wands and Justice, which is also Sagittarius and Libra energy, and also divorce, where what they've been doing wasn't working, but now there's new passion and love is working. So they're now focusing or redirecting on that, the big love and the new life that's in need of repair. All right, so that's the end of the Divine Feminine read. So I hope you like that today. I'm only going to pull an energy card since we're already at 116. So let's see what we have for you today. And I did pull some energy cards for you already that I posted on the tag, so I hope you liked that. That was for this read. All right, so for everybody watching, for everybody, the best and highest good of all is concerned, take a deep breath, you guys. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What is our takeaway from this read? And let's clear all dark, negative, and viral energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all is concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light for all. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what is our final word here for this read? That came right out. There we go. You got some deceit there. And that came up with the earlier, not with the cards I posted. I think that was yesterday this came up, last night. There's a lot of red with the next card too. All right, so this is about making sure you understand what you value. All right? And make sure that you're not deceiving yourself is what I'm getting here. 25 is that Knight of Wands, which this read was all about, the Knight of Wands, who can be very deceitful, right, when it's an upside down energy. Because it's very passionate, sexual, creative. And so when they're reversed, they become very selfish and self-serving. So you have to make sure you understand what's most important to you. 25, the Knight of Wands, and 31 is that Five of Wands, that expansion energy. Do you want to play games with this person? Because this is that game playing, conflict, fighting. Is that what you want? Or do you want someone who's loving and peaceful and who will treat you right? Okay, so it's making sure you know what you want and you know what you're worth. And then we have the Healer of the Ages here, 51. Or is that a different energy or what? And the underlying energy. The underlying energy in this, Healer of the Ages and 5th Chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So it's all about the masculine speaking their truth and being this energy, not this energy. Okay? So that was pretty clear. Well, I like that though. That was nice. So 51, and this is 39. 51 is the King of Swords, and then the 39 of the Knight of Cups. So much better energy, being in their truth and being loving and prince-like. Oh, that was really pretty. All right, that was for the Divine Feminine. So be in your power. Don't accept less than your worth, okay? So I'm going to show you the cards. All right, there's the Three of Flames and the underlying energy, recent past, the Starseed. The foundation here is the King of Cups. That was upright today. And there's those other cards there. The central energy is the Two of Swords or Orbs. The challenge is the Queen of Swords or Orbs. The other underlying energies there. And then the crowning position is the Ascension card or the World. The other cards I had upright there just so you can see them closer. This is the middle cards from the SIRIAN Starsea deck at the end, and then the other section of cards. Okay, so the 40 bridge energy is here, and then coming down to the 10 of Cups, which was upright, the feminine seeing herself as the 4 of Crystals, which is the Divine Masculine's heart, and around her, and you see the 6 of Cups there on that card, Around the feminine or house she is seen is the Six of Crystals, which was also upright, which is lovely energy. And the block that she needs to work on has to do with the shadow reversed, allowing the detox. So having to go through the worst of the pain and then to just get it out, which most of you have probably been through already. All right, so then we end up, you see the colors of the blue and purple. So the feminine needs to speak her truth and use her third eye, her intuition. And then we end up there with the Ace of Swords reversed, the Knight of Wands upright, the Justice card upright, the Eight of Pentacles upright, and then that's the, at the top there is the Ace of Wands with the clarification card, Ace of Cups, but the Ace of Cups is also right here after it. I just didn't have room to put it up there. And then we have the Chariot reversed with the Ace of Pentacles reversed above that. Okay, but it ends in a really nice place. All right, and then pink and yellow there was the underlying energy, very Mary Magdalene-y. The Mary Magdalene Buttercup yellow, and then the pink is compassion, high heart, being compassionate. Okay, so it's just 120, 50. The Magician, Judgment, and the 50 of emotional fulfillment. Rise and be love, you guys. Bye.